The arena lights burned brighter than usual, the crowd buzzing with anticipation long before the first entrance theme even played. Nights like this don't begin calmly, they explode into chaos, emotion, and unpredictability. Fans knew they were about to witness something intense when known for their rising rivalry and undeniable physical presence, were scheduled to share the same ring. What started as tension had slowly grown into resentment, and resentment was now turning into open conflict. By the time both men stepped into the spotlight, the atmosphere felt less like entertainment and more like an unavoidable collision. Oba Femi entered first, moving with calm dominance. Every step toward the ring felt deliberate, almost intimidating. His reputation had grown rapidly, powerful, relentless, and confident beyond his years. Fans respected his strength, but they also sensed an edge, a competitor who thrived in confrontation. The crowd reaction mixed admiration with tension because whenever Oba Femi appeared, something explosive usually followed. Moments later, Trick Williams's music hit, and the energy shifted instantly. Charismatic and fearless, Williams carried himself with swagger, feeding off the crowd's excitement. He wasn't intimidated. If anything, he looked eager for the confrontation. Their rivalry had been building through weeks of verbal exchanges, backstage confrontations, and subtle disrespect that neither man was willing to ignore anymore. As both stood face to face inside the ring, the tension was visible without a single word spoken. The referee attempted to maintain order, reminding both competitors of the rules, but the audience could already sense that rules would not last long tonight. The stare-down alone told a story: pride versus pride, dominance versus defiance. The bell rang, and the match began cautiously. Both men circled each other, testing reactions, measuring distance. Oba used his size advantage immediately, attempting to overpower Williams with heavy grapples and forceful pushes into the ropes. Williams responded with speed, slipping away and striking quickly before backing off. The contrast in styles energized the crowd, brute strength against athletic agility. Within minutes, the pace escalated. A hard shoulder tackle from Oba sent Williams crashing to the mat, drawing a loud reaction from the audience. Oba stood tall, signaling confidence, but Williams quickly recovered, responding with fast strikes that stunned his opponent momentarily. The exchange ignited the match, turning technical competition into emotional combat. Then came the turning point. A missed strike near the ropes caused both competitors to collide awkwardly, frustration boiling over instantly. Words were exchanged, not part of the script, but fueled by rivalry. The referee stepped between them, trying to restore order, but neither man backed down. A sudden shove from Oba sparked chaos. The crowd erupted as punches began flying. This was no longer just a match, it was a brawl. Williams fired back with rapid strikes, forcing Oba into the corner. The audience roared as momentum shifted back and forth. Security officials appeared near ringside, sensing the situation escalating beyond control. Chairs rattled, the ring ropes shook, and commentary teams struggled to keep up with the unpredictable action unfolding. Oba responded with overwhelming power, lifting Williams and slamming him onto the mat with thunderous impact. The sound echoed through the arena, drawing gasps from fans. But instead of going for a pin, Oba stood over him, shouting, emotion taking over strategy. That moment revealed the true nature of the rivalry. This wasn't about victory alone, it was about respect. Williams refused to stay down. Using the ropes, he pulled himself up and launched forward with renewed energy, delivering a running strike that stunned Oba. The crowd sensed resilience, rallying behind him as chants echoed throughout the arena. Momentum swung wildly, each competitor refusing to yield even an inch. The brawl spilled outside the ring soon after. Both men crashed into the barricade, the impact sending fans jumping backward in shock. Officials attempted to intervene, but the intensity was unstoppable. Oba threw powerful strikes while Williams countered with speed and determination, using the environment around him to level the playing field. Commentators described the scene as pure chaos, a rivalry reaching its boiling point. Every movement carried emotion. Every strike carried weeks of frustration. Back inside the ring, exhaustion began to show, but neither competitor slowed down. Oba attempted another dominant slam, but Williams countered mid-motion, turning the momentum into a sudden takedown that shocked the audience. For the first time, Oba looked genuinely surprised. The crowd sensed history unfolding, two rising stars pushing each other beyond limits. As the fight intensified, security finally rushed the ring, attempting to separate them. Officials struggled as both wrestlers continued lunging toward each other, refusing to let the confrontation end. Fans stood on their feet, chanting loudly, fully invested in the drama. Even as they were pulled apart, both competitors kept shouting challenges, promising that this rivalry was far from over. The energy in the arena remained electric long after the chaos settled because everyone understood they had witnessed the beginning of something bigger than a single match. The aftermath became just as important as the brawl itself. Social media exploded with clips of the confrontation, fans debating who truly dominated the encounter. Some praised Oba's overwhelming strength, others admired Williams's resilience and refusal to back down. Analysts began discussing the rivalry as one of the most compelling emerging stories in wrestling. What made the moment unforgettable wasn't just the physical confrontation, it was authenticity. Both men showed passion, pride, and determination that blurred the line between performance and reality. Wrestling thrives on emotion, and this confrontation delivered it in raw form. In the days that followed, interviews hinted at unfinished business. Neither competitor claimed satisfaction. Both demanded another opportunity, another match, another chance to prove superiority. The rivalry had evolved from competition into personal conflict, ensuring that future encounters would carry even greater stakes. Fans now anticipate the next chapter, knowing that when these two share the ring again, the intensity will only grow. Rivalries like this shape careers. They create defining moments that audiences remember for years. Because sometimes wrestling isn't about titles or rankings. Sometimes it's about pride. Sometimes it's about proving who belongs at the top. And on that unforgettable night, when Oba Femi and Trick Williams turned a match into a full-scale brawl, they didn't just entertain the crowd, they announced themselves as forces impossible to ignore, competitors willing to push limits and create moments that define an era. The ring became more than a stage, it became a battlefield of ambition, emotion, and rising greatness, and everyone watching knew that this was only the beginning of a rivalry destined to grow louder, fiercer, and far more unforgettable with every encounter that follows.